This week on the Grassroots podcast.
And I said to the specialist, when can I play football again? Like, how long is this going to affect me for? And he just looked at me and said, look, if you're not going to take time to do the rehab, don't bother getting the surgery. Doesn't matter what excuse you have. If it's not a priority, you won't do it.
I know some people are more like, if you have goals or you have ideas, keep them to yourself. I think if you're going to pursue something and that's what you're about, put it out there.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Quincy Kennedy, and you're hanging out with us in Thought Fox Studio 1, also known as The Fox Den. And I got a phenomenal lineup today. We got the starting lineup here. Shooting, pulling up for 40, back in the building, hasn't been here for a while.
Yes.
JFK is back in the building.
I know. JFK, aka like Connor McDavin. I'm glad to be back. I'm not gonna call it a hiatus, but
Just a quick detour.
Just had to spend some more time with the family, just do some things like that. Enjoy baby Ava, who is incredible, and she is growing so fast.
I bet.
So fast, but it is good to be back on the show. Look at Ellie. I just dropped that. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, you did.
I see. You can tell I haven't been here for a while.
The game doesn't work like that anymore,
now
brother.
Ellie is here. Yeah, Ellie is in the lineup. I remember when she would just watch us, and now she is here hosting.
I used to stand behind the veil, and now I'm here beside you.
Well, it's because we only put the best on the podcast, so that's why she's on.
She's awesome.
Only best in the podcast. Better than all of us.
Yes. Why the people came here.
Why the people came to listen. The homie. Been with us since day one, the live podcast.
Yes, the original.
The original.
The OG.
The real OG. That's right. Tilly Quist. Tilly, how are we doing?
Good. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, we're pumped to have you back on. Pumped to hear what you've been up to in the gridiron scene. Talking about a few mishaps with your injury and a few other good things that are happening in your world. But first, before we get started, Q's Word of the Week.
I've been listening, and I love Q's Word of the Week.
I bet you do.
I'm very excited to hear what it is.
Does it motivate you?
It motivates me.
Yes, it does.
You guys do a great job, so I'm a part of this. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. This week, the word relentless. I know. That's fire. It's hot.
That's gold.
That's gold.
We should have the fire graphic.
Yeah. Relentless, guys. Kind of like persistent, but more on fire. Relentless is that grind. It's that hustle. When I think of relentless, I think right away, Tilly getting injured, but relentless about her workout, relentless about staying in the gym, pursuing her goals, pursuing her dreams, staying fit and getting in there. So when I think of relentless, I think of 2017 being relentless with everything that we're pursuing, being relentless on our goals, our ambitions, what we're striving for. If we want to win a championship, we're relentless in the gym, we're relentless on the rink, we're relentless on the field, our eating, relentless, no garbage we're putting in our body. We're at it, we're working hard, and we're just, again, persistent, just with fire. Relentless, guys, the word of the week. What do you guys think?
Love it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sport particularly, if you actually want to succeed, you got to be relentless in what you're doing. So if you're not going to get the results that you want to get.
Absolutely.
Relentless to me is that next level. You got your persistence, but relentless is really
absolutely
that next
nothing
level.
will get in the way.
Nothing gets in the way. Nothing's going to stop me, and I'm going to be,
relentless.
Yeah, relentless. There's no other. Yeah, that's a really good word.
Yeah, you just take that, you put it in your pocket, run with that this week, guys.
Run with that this week.
But yeah, see, with the relentless, I think it really incorporates the fact that there's going to be a failure, there's going to be a roadblock there, and you just got to keep going. Because a lot of the times, we're motivated to go out there and do something, but then you're going to get hit in the face. You're going to get punched in the face by something, and then it's do you relentlessly pursue it? Do you keep going regardless of the situation, regardless of how you feel? Yeah. Keep on going.
Absolutely. It's kind of like what one of the words a couple weeks ago, being consistent and persistent with our efforts. That's where I hear relentless. It's just whatever it is, you're consistently nailing it, consistently grinding, consistently pushing for that next level. So, that's the word of the week, guys.
Well done, Q.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Feeling good about that one. We got a couple more for the year. Maybe I'll pull out something better, but I don't know if you can get better than relentless.
I like how you just spring it on us. We didn't think you were going down to the relentless path, and you just
grind it out.
Yeah.
Surprises, guys. Surprises. Good thing we don't have anyone here ruining surprises. Guys, talking this hour with Tilly Quist was with us from the beginning. Hung out with us at the live recording. I forgot, where was that at? What's the name of that place?
The Premier
The
Hotel?
Premier Hotel.
Yeah.
See,
It was really good.
That's way back in August.
It was back in
She
August.
says way back in August.
Way back. Are you
winters.
kidding me? It's like ages ago. We're like almost at the end of the year. August was ages ago.
Yeah.
Then we were talking about her being the captain of the Cobras, local gridiron team out here, also pursuing the Federation of American Football, the IFAF 2017 Women's World Championship. So I know she had her GoFundMe going for that, correct?
Yeah, yep.
Yep, and so she's been pursuing that. Also, she's been injured, so that's really what I want to get into right away. What has that done for you? So you've been injured. Catch us up with your life and what's been going on.
It's completely changed my whole life around from that moment that I got injured. I guess I didn't really think the injury was anything bad. So for those who don't know, I completely tore my flexor tendon of my left ring finger.
How?
I was playing footy and in a tackle it happened, and I didn't really think anything of it. Like, it hurt, but it wasn't that bad. I just couldn't bend the tip of my finger. And then sort of, I think a day passed and I went to my doctor and I said, oh, is this like bad? And he said, oh, go get an x-ray. Went and got the x-ray, it was clear. And then like the next day I was at the gym like benching 50, 60 kilos, like not even worrying about it. And then I worked a 12.5-hour shift driving dump trucks. And then the next day I went and got an ultrasound, and it turned out that, it was a complete tear and they had to have surgery straight away. So I remember going in for surgery and I said to the specialist, when can I play football again? Like, how long is this going to affect me for? And he just looked at me and said, look, if you're not going to take time to do the rehab, don't bother getting the surgery.
Okay.
He said it's one of those things that is very, very particular in the way that you've got to build up that strength again. So, he said that it was going to be a 12-week recovery, and I am now at 13 or 14 weeks post surgery. So I'm almost fully back into it now, but it stopped me from playing. So unfortunately the season that I've trained for like a year and a half for, I'm out for. So that was very disappointing. I think a lot more emotionally it's affected me than physically, because being so active and then being told, no, you're not going to be able to play football for 3 months. You can't ride your motorbike for 3 months. You can't, go and do all these different weights that I want to do. Yeah. I was meant to start a new job as a permanent firefighter in September, and unfortunately I couldn't start that because I injured myself a week before. So, everything, like the 3 things I really love doing, I got told I wasn't going to be able to do them for 3 months. So
that's really terrible timing.
Yeah, it was awful.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really crap. And I was really, like, I'd even packed my bags and everything ready to go start this new job. Like, I had my heart set on it, and it all just come crashing down.
Let's talk about that. Can we go into depth? Like, what does that feel like? Being right there, that opportunity, you've been working so hard, and then all of a sudden it's like it comes crashing down, and you're just thinking like, what the heck? Like, I don't know if you're thinking, why me? Or, stuff happens. Like, what are you thinking? Like,
so I probably went through a few different stages. I know I definitely felt hopeless and that I wasn't able to change the situation no matter how much I want to. So I'm probably a little, like, I like to be in control of everything. So to be out of control of this situation and not be able to do the things that I really wanted to do, it upset me. And then, one day I'll be like, whatever, you've just got to get on with it and be positive. And that's the type of person I am, just move forward. That's fine. What gets you down, like, it's only going to make you stronger. Yep. But then, like, the day that I was meant to start my new job, I was walking down the street and just started crying. And I'm thinking, oh my God, who are you? Like, wake up to yourself. But, like, I think I sort of had dreamt about, starting that career and, just everything, not being able to do that, knowing I'm out for the entire football season, like, that's horrible, like, right at the start of it. Yeah. And, it was a pretty crap time, to be honest. But after like a week or so, I just decided, just get on with it, just do what you want and try and enjoy my time off. And I had maybe a week or two, maybe a week even out of the gym just while my finger was still recovering from the surgery. And then I just got straight back into training. So I really haven't missed anything. So I've just been, changing up what I do. So using a lot of wrist straps on my left hand, still training my right hand, like my right side of my body quite heavy, and still doing legs and things like that. So yeah, I haven't really slowed down at all. If anything, I've got more time now because I haven't been working. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
when you said the breakdown, the cry, definitely took me back to a place I know during my college days. I guess I was unfortunate, or maybe I was just like a Band-Aid on the team, but I ended up having surgery after each year of college. So after my freshman year, after my sophomore year, and after my junior year. Freshman year was a wrist injury, so I had to have orthoscopic surgery for that. Second year was this weird freak accident, broke my finger. Thought I was going to heal the right way, and then like probably 2 months after it happened, like I was opening doors and it still felt weird. Talked to the doctors, like, yeah, I healed the wrong way, we're going to go back. Do resurgery. And then the third year, the one that really broke me down was I had to have orthoscopic surgery on my ankle. And it was just like getting ready to go into my last year, and you're ready after all that training and everything. You're like, I'm going to have a big year. I'm going to have this amazing year. Here we go. And then just like, because you can't, you're hopeless, like not hopeless, but you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You feel hopeless.
And like, I was talking to my coach and I broke down so bad. So bad. Yeah, I know. It was one of those ugly cries too. And it was probably about like a good minute, and then like I pulled it together. But I completely understand that. And
Coach, I'm so sorry.
it's just like, but it's part of the game though. And it's one of those things you can't, it's inevitable. Like usually injuries happen. Like if they don't happen, I consider you very lucky in a small percentage of the game. But it's.
And there's no rushing that situation. Like you got to let your body heal. Like, obviously, there's things you can do to help it along, but yeah, you just can't go back in there and do what you want to do. Like, you definitely have to give yourself time to heal and do that rehab and do that work on that side of things.
Or it's going to make things worse down the road.
Definitely.
The interesting thing with my finger as well was that I had a stitch through the nail. So after the 4th week, that was where it was like starting to get strong. But then as soon as they take the stitch out, it's weak again.
Yeah.
So you've built up this like almost, I can do this and I can do this and I know what I can get away with. But then when the stitch comes out, he was saying, now is the time you need to be careful, because now is the time that you will injure it. And if you re-injure it now, you're going to have 2 surgeries and it's going to be a lot longer. So I had to sort of back off what I was doing at the gym a bit because I just really didn't want to re-injure it. But yeah, there was different stages throughout that 12 weeks that I had to be careful.
Yeah, wow. Talking about like training and everything, with the new year coming up and what your situation specifically, I guess what are you doing? Like you said, you're still lifting, you're still working out, but I guess what are you doing mentally and physically to prepare yourself for the next season?
Yeah, so I've been working with my strength coach and basically following a 4-day-a-week sort of cycle. So I can usually do it in 6 days, so it's not quite a week for me. Basically 2 upper body sessions and 2 lower body sessions per week. I've been doing some other sort of like, break on the table. Clearly been working out.
Those quads are so big.
I've been doing some other like conditioning sort of stuff as well, but basically focusing on my strength for the season.
So I guess when you say conditioning, how important is it for you to work on conditioning now, knowing that you're so far away? Are you more focused on the strength aspect and then? Mainly
strength.
Yep.
However, I'm mindful that at camp I want to stand out again, and I need to have my fitness at a level that I'm able to cope with the 5 hours of training a day. So, but also I don't want to do, endless hours of cardio and lose all the muscle that I've just gained.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line between how much sort of conditioning I'm doing.
Yeah, because football training's a bit different. I remember when I played, it's like you have 2-a-days and you're on the field all day and you're running all day, but it's like you're still working on power. Like you're doing sleds, you're doing pads, you're doing a lot of agility stuff. And the agility is different kind of agility. It's not so much quick feet work, but you're more doing barrel rolls or whatever it is, working on swim moves or different techniques. And it's more of like a speed power more when it comes to, when I think of conditioning for gridiron.
Yeah, it's strenuous and it's like full body exercises.
Yeah.
And you're doing them repetitively in the hot sun for 2.5 hours, and then we have like a pool session and a break and then another 2.5 hour session. So I need to make sure.
Do you guys have 2-a-days?
Yeah.
Right.
So I need to make sure that I'm ready for that.
So you're working
training.
towards the training camp for the Australian women's team.
Yeah.
And that's in February, is that right?
In February the 13th, I think
Where's that being
So
held?
that's going to be at the Gold Coast again. So just like this February, it'll be exactly the same.
So is what you're doing now, especially with your finger, your injury, the same as what you would have been doing anyway? Or is it slightly modified? Or
Just slightly modified. It's very close to what I would have been doing, but I have had to modify some things, unfortunately, because I would like to have followed my strength coach's plan to a T, because that's what he's there for. He knows his but yeah, some things have had to be modified with it, but I feel like I'm still getting quite a lot out of it.
I was going to ask, do you still sort of feel on track, like you will definitely still, smash it out when you go to this training camp?
Yeah, I'm still building muscle, and I'm feeling strong, and every day is good. Like, I'm positive about it all. So yeah, it's going good, and my finger's almost back 100%. So I don't really feel like I've, lost 3 months of training or anything like that at all. So yeah, it's good.
So thinking about training camp, you know it's going to be strenuous. You know it's going to be hard. It's going to be some hot days, especially you said February on the Gold Coast. How do you approach that? Are you like really pumped, really energized? Do you kind of dread it? How do you go about it?
Preparing myself now, I think, is really going to help for camp. So I've been lucky enough to pick up a sponsor, Alpha Lab Supplements. So making sure that I'm utilising those guys and having my supplements each day and my BCAAs when I'm training and my protein for recovery and all that sort of stuff I'm going to be able to take to camp and use at camp. And like, it really does help. And I know people say, you might not need supplements, but at the end of the day, if you're training that much, they really do help you. And I'm just so lucky to be able to have Alpha Labs back me up and supply me with a ton of supplements, because they're awesome.
So does it energize you, I guess, per se, going into training camp? I guess what I'm trying to get to is the aspect of where you're getting ready to be back on the field. You're going to be with your teammates and things. Does the excitement of being on the field overcast the dread of how hard it's going to be?
I don't have any dread of how hard it's going to be. I actually look forward to it.
Yeah.
I love that sort of aspect of it. I think... I don't know what I was going to say then.
She lost it.
I lost it. I think like the excitement of more myself recovering from an injury is actually like from the 1st of January is when I've been cleared to do everything that I could do before. So from that day forward, I should be going full throttle into it. So there's only 6 weeks until camp. So for me, like, that's how I'm going to be energized for it, is like, I'm back in the game. I'm ready to go. 6 weeks, get as much in as I can. So for me, I'm mentally energized, I think, because of my injury, and I want to just make up for everything that's happened and missing out on the season particularly.
As an athlete, just listening to you, like, that's what a coach, like, that's what he wants in an athlete, someone who's even through an injury, they're passionate, like, they don't dread anything. Like, a lot of people do dread going into camp. Like, I remember going into 2-a-days and like, man, like, you're passionate about the season and you're pumped for it and you get excited, but still, like, nothing is glorious about 2-a-days, especially when it's hot. So, like, my hat's off to you, and I think you're just a great example of how athletes can be optimistic and how you're just passionate about what you do. It's not just something you do so you have good days or bad days. Like, you just love it. It's what you do. Like, you're a gridiron player. That's it, period. And that's what I love about it. So talking about gridiron, talking about the season, talk about the club aspect a little bit. I know there's a situation where you guys couldn't put together a full team due to some injuries and some lack of commitment.
Yeah, so we started off, really well, and our training and coaching was amazing. I was really enjoying turning up to those sessions and watching the girls train and watching a lot of the rookies learn new skills. And it was awesome, and we were doing so well. But unfortunately, we just had injury after injury after injury. We had some commitment issues, and it got to a point where we were thinking, well, what do we do? Just keep forfeiting games, which then affects other teams, or do we pull out and then give those who actually want the opportunity to continue to play, go and play for another team? And it was sort of decided that we would pull out because we had to forfeit, and it's not fair on the other teams. And that was something that, for me, you know, I play with all of the other girls in the other teams at the Australian camp, so I know them all and I know how hard they work. And then for us to turn around and go, hey, we're forfeiting the game, it's not fair. So I think it's sort of also let go of the people that didn't particularly want to commit, and then the people who wanted to commit, they went down and played for Northwestern Phoenix, so that was probably the closest team to us, and they ended up going on through to the Opal Bowl. So they got through to the Opal Bowl, but Bondi Raiders took it out.
Yeah. What do you see, I guess, what do you find is the lack of commitment? Because sports is a bit different here in regards to, like, most club sports and most sports out here, especially grassroots sports, like, you don't have the avenue of becoming professional. Like, it's not like rugby league or like cricket where you have a clear path that you know that you can be professional. So I guess what is those things that, you know, people have the lack of commitment? Is it kids? Is it work? Is it just, I feel lazy today, so I don't want to go? Is it lack of finances because they're not, you know, sponsored or funded? Like, what is the lack of commitment?
It's one of my favorite words. It's priority.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what excuse you have. If it's not a priority, you won't do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So whether it's time or money or kids or whatever, if it's not a priority, you're not going to do it. So whether people might have a large family, that's their priority. So they're going to put that as their priority. Whether they just, you know, want to have their weekends off and go camping every weekend and whatever, they've made that a priority over the sport.
Yeah.
So we're sort of looking at, we want to have people that are actually going to commit and make this their priority. Because at the end of the day, it is a team sport, and we do need everybody in the team to put in that effort, because it lets everybody else down if we don't.
And see, when you say that, I know I see that with the AIHL and hockey. When it's back home, hockey is a priority. It was a priority over everything I did. One, because of the pathway that it led to. It led to college, it led to professional. But here, it really is, it seems more like a hobby.
Yeah.
And I know we had Stephen White on the show recently, and just talking to him and some of the things that are going to be happening, it seems like the league is kind of progressing, and it's exciting to see, because maybe that does turn into someone's 9 to 5. I don't know. You know, at least during the season it would.
Yeah.
But it is tough. And like, being a person, like, I have a family, like, if you're going to make that your priority, stick to it and be proud of it. And I think it's more being defiant with what you're doing.
You got there.
Yeah, I got there. We got there. But being defiant with what you're doing and knowing what your priorities are and making it a must. It's not maybe kind of, I'm going to kind of tread in the water. I'm not, because you're, like you said, you're not doing your team justice.
And you can tell who the players are that are putting in the effort and that aren't. And they're the players that are going to go on and play, like, represent the state or the country. And they're the ones that are actually going to get a little bit back from it, even though it's not a financial gain. You know in yourself that you've worked so hard for something and been able to achieve that.
And if you're going to go to battle with these people, you want someone who's going to be committed to it. If you have someone that's not there, it's just, you don't have that confidence. I'm not going to trust you to hold on to the rope if I'm, like, hanging off a cliff. I know you're going to be like, oh, wait, sorry, I got to get this text and leave me. So, no, I understand completely where you're coming from. Absolutely.
And, excuse me. It actually is, like, a great opportunity if you just show up every day, right? And you just show up and like, persist and doing what you're supposed to do. Like, there really is a lot of gain. Like you said, there might not be financial gain, but just committing to something like this, like you said, you can play for your country. I know a great example is Damo, who's Damo's Lacrosse on Instagram, who, you know, started playing lacrosse with us. But that's the first thing he saw in a grassroots sport like lacrosse. He's like, well, it's not a professional sport, it's not a professional league, but it opens up so many opportunities for me to either play for my country, to travel overseas and play. And I think it's like the same thing what you're saying. There's so much reward if you stick it out and play and you're focused and ambitious to pursue those things. But as soon as you start looking at little things, it's no financial gain or et cetera, then that's when you can really miss actually really great opportunities.
I think it sets an example of your dedication to other aspects in your life as well, whether it be your career or something that you're just putting in the work. And I know that when you look at people that you look up to, it's inspiring to actually see people that have worked so hard to get where they are, even if they're not getting something out of it. Yeah. They're doing that and they're putting in that hard work. And, you might look at them and go, oh, you know, I wish I was doing more, or I wish I could do that. And then you look at other people and go, well, hang on, I can do that. And it sort of gives you that bit of inspiration to maybe get into the gym a bit more, or live your life to the fullest, or go out and learn something new, or whatever it might be.
For me, just listening to you and the conversations we've had and just watching you progress in your career, you really stand out as a leader. And that's why we love having you on the show. And just the knowledge and wisdom that you give to our audience is fantastic, especially when it comes down to leadership stuff. So let's talk about that for a second. So you are the captain of your team. Is that something that you pursued? Is that something that you've always been like the leader? You always been that kid that everybody follows? Like, where does that leadership come in you?
I guess from day one, I was always there at the Cobras. So we were actually originally the LGL Vipers, the Newcastle Vipers, and I'm the only original player that's been through with the team the whole
real
time.
OG.
Back with the OG.
I'm literally the real OG. So,
way back.
but I do have leadership characteristics, and that's just something that I've always had. I don't know. It's just instilled into me. But I think if I've got the qualities in me to do that, that's what can really bring a team together and get, you know, the camaraderie of everybody to get in and actually want to come to training and want to commit to that. And also, like with recruitment, I think if you actually have a good leader and someone that can be enthusiastic about it, and someone that's, you know, not only can talk the talk but can walk the walk, people are going to see that and want to get involved. So I've sort of just always done it.
Well, that's very telling, like, of your character, because you're injured, you couldn't play the season, yet you showed up to coach your girls regardless, and your girls paid you back. I saw on your like athlete profile on Facebook, you know, they all put a T on their helmet for you, Tilly.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was such a lovely gesture. I wasn't expecting that. So even after my injury, I was still going to training and helping out and doing a bit of coaching with the girls. And one training, because I couldn't even drive at the time, so I had to get lifts to and from training. One of the girls made up all these little helmet decals to put on the back of the helmets of a T, and said that, you know, whenever they play, they're going to be playing for their captain and playing for Tilly and trying to play with the dedication. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was such a lovely moment, and it was just something that I wasn't expecting. But that shows, you know, the teamwork of our whole team. Like, that's how tight we were when we had a team at the start. Like, it was such a shame that we folded. But
I guess that's a testament to your character, because obviously you don't do what you do because of that or for the accolades. You do it because that's what's in you. Yeah. And as a coach, I know there's been plenty of times where, or even as a player, I've been either assistant captain or captain, but it's based off what you do repeatedly.
Yeah.
So I think leaders are the people that do things right all the time, not when coach is watching, doing it in the dark when there's no coach there, when it's just a team. They're always doing the right thing, or 99% of the time they're doing the right thing, because that's their character. It helps as a leader to be being vocal. I know, I guess you could say being an extrovert or whatnot, but it helps to be that vocal. But I know there's been silent leaders on teams that aren't as vocal, but it's just like you look at them and just by their play, you're inspired to do more.
Yeah, I think you've got to have integrity as well, and respect for everybody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if people, you know, if you don't have respect for people and they don't have respect for you, it will make it hard. So
that's true.
You've got to be able to not carry into any of the drama side of, you know, team sports, because like it happens with everything, but you've got to just maintain, you know, a bit of integrity and make sure that you treat everybody fairly, and that way people will actually look up to you and want to come to you for problems and come to you to help things, and that's what makes a team work.
Absolutely. Well, you're definitely a leader and very inspirational to a lot of people. My question would be, do you ever like kind of take that in and use it to your advantage? Like, I guess that would be the wrong way to say it. It's more in regards to, like, do you ever see that and like, this is what I want to do? Like, I want to help other people become leaders. I want to help other girls, empower them to be leaders.
It's so funny you say that. In the last couple of weeks, I've really been thinking about like my life and what I've been doing, and about starting my new career as a firefighter. And the roster is amazing, and you actually get about 5 days off every 8 days. So thinking about, you know, what I want to do in that time, because there's no way I can do nothing in that time. I have to be doing something. And I actually want to pursue becoming a life coach.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Cues on board.
Yeah, right.
I guess
that's right on my alley.
Let's keep going down that path. So, I mean, we know a little bit about your background, and we saw the article in the Herald. Go more into depth of what motivates you, what things have you been through that keep you grounded, but at the same time keep you pushing for more?
My friend actually sent me a photo of me 8 years ago, and I was mortified by the photo. Like, it was just someone that I don't even recognize, like, at all. And looking back through what happened in high school and how I went through a really rough time with witnessing a suicide, I think I went through a horrible period of my life where I learnt a lot of negative things. Like, my life was crap for years. And without going into it too much, I one day just sort of realised, like, hang on, like, I have to help myself. No one's going to help you. Like, if you don't help yourself, other people might try, but unless you actually want to help yourself, you're not going to get through it. So for me, it sort of made me realise, well, hang on, like, I need to pull myself up out of this situation. And from then I just paved little steps. And it took me, 4 to 7 years to completely, like, have my whole persona changed of me around, and I'm a completely different person. And even, at the 4-year mark, I had people coming up to me going, oh my God, you look so different, and, everything's so changed and you've come so far and I'm so proud of you. And that sort of, like, reassured in me that I was doing the right thing. And instead of having all this negativity and crap in my life, I decided, well, I'm going to be the better person. I'm going to be a positive person. I'm going to have a great outlook on life. Like, life can really be amazing. It doesn't have to be horrible. It's what you make it.
Yes.
And that sort of made me realize, like, I need to help myself. And through doing that, I've pursued all the different career goals that I've had already, and my sporting goals, I've pursued them. So, like, there's nothing you can't do. Like, I wanted to ride a motorbike. Now I ride a Harley. I wanted to work in the mines. I work in the mines. I want to be a firefighter. I got a memory on Facebook only a couple of days ago that had, what happened in 2015 and then my goals for 2016, and I achieved them all.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
Reading through that, it was said, this is what I want to become, a firefighter. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I was like, I did that. I did everything that I put myself down for. So have some goals, set yourself up for it. Because, if you don't have a plan, then you're not going to get there. But just make it. Yeah.
For all the earth movers out here, like, this is why we bring in these guests. I mean, we have the personal trainer for balance. Can you fill me on his name?
Sean.
He was awesome. He has some amazing quotes. But right there, what you said is, if you want to achieve it, go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And once you make that decision inside, I can't explain it, but
relentless.
Relentless. Once you make that relentless decision, it happens. Like, but I like how you said it. You said 4 or 7 years. It wasn't overnight, but you made that decision.
Yeah.
You were relentless, and over time, little things keep going away, keep chipping away.
It's believing yourself. It's like literally looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I am amazing. I'm going to do this. Like, I'm a good person. Positive, like, 4 years of looking at yourself in the mirror and doing that. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight, because if you don't believe in yourself and you're having a hard time, how are you going to get better? You've got to make those little steps, little changes over the period of 4 to 7 years. It might happen sooner. It might take longer, who knows, but you've got to do it. If you don't start, it won't happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. There's a pinnacle moment where, like, that, what does John Lee Dumas say, that aha moment for me, when my brother came home one time and he was like he was going out with friends or whatever, and he ran into a couple of my friends who, at least I thought was my friends. I don't know if you remember this.
No, I remember
But you came home and you're like, oh yeah, I saw so-and-so, and they asked me about you. And the things that they said about me was just like, wow, that's how people really view me. And he was just like, does your brother still smoke, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dang, like,
The perception.
And that was like when it clicked for me. After that, just became a book junkie and just started filling my head with completely different things, just stop doing those things, stop hanging out with those people, and completely change, start reading the John Maxwell's and the How to Win Friends and Influence People, and just start to become that person I wanted to be. And over time, like, I'm hosting a podcast and they're probably at home at a bar. So, told you.
But, like, I'm going to take that even deeper into a sports aspect. There are players on a team, like you said, you start hanging around the right people. And there are players on a team that have influence, but they can be cancerous.
Yeah.
And there's those players, because they just have influence. Like, certain people, you just kind of want to be around for whatever reason. But if they have a bad attitude or anything, and you're hanging around that so many times, just hanging like, oh man, coach is doing this. Like, what is he doing? And then either you can feed that, or you can go the other way and hang out with the more positive people, or be a leader on the team. And in those moments, like, if a person's like, coach should be doing this, or I should be out there more, and like,
I always think what you ignore, you can condone as well. So, you know, if people are going to talk crap about someone else, like I'd like to think that I'm the type of person that says, hey, please don't talk about that in front of me or around me. So you don't have to be abrupt with them, but you just say, hey, look, I just don't want to talk about it. And it usually like they will drop their jaw and be like, what?
Because it's like people don't do that.
Yeah, like,
I'm one of those people. If someone's talking crap near me, I just don't have a tolerance for crap. So if someone's doing it near me, I'll be like, either take it somewhere else or completely drop it. And they're just like, what?
Wait, no,
Yeah,
you're
just
supposed
don't
to
want to
listen
hear
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Crap filter. See you later.
I just have no time for it. So just do it away from me or just don't do it anyway.
Yeah.
I think we're going to start a new hashtag like OG standards.
Yeah, there it is.
Like hashtag OG
You
standards.
heard it first on the Grassroots podcast.
We're just setting standards.
But continuing on that, like one thing that you said, and I think is like one of the biggest points, and I guess if you think of like what's that golden nugget, that one success principle that everybody that's successful does is keeping guard of your mind. It's only taking in positive. Like you say, you don't watch TV or watch movies or whatever. You just kind of guard your mind. I remember when I was going through that season, like completely did not watch the news, completely stopped watching TV. And when you realize you're really not watching it is when you hear people talking about stuff that you have no idea, and you're just like,
it's so
what?
awkward when people quote stuff and you're like, yeah, I know
no
stuff.
idea.
Quoting movies.
Like, you been to the gym lately?
Yeah. I think they got a new squat rack. Right? But I mean, it's so important to that positive self-talk, like you said, looking at yourself in the mirror, and that does take time. That is really hard to look at yourself in the mirror when you have a perception of yourself and tell yourself the exact opposite. I'm beautiful. I am successful. I am a leader. I can do this. I think that's one of the biggest things is filtering your mind, positive self-talk.
It's very hard though because we are surrounded by such negativity, especially like I'm gonna do it. Like women, we're surrounded a lot by negativity, just advertising,
Body
constantly
shaming,
being told
yeah.
we're not pretty enough, we're not thin enough, we're not this, we're not that. So it's hard, but you really do Tilly, I'm completely on board. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and really pick out, I am a good person. Build your confidence up. Talk to yourself in the mirror.
I always say that losing 5 kilos isn't going to make me any more awesome. You're not going to be a better person. It's not going to make you kinder. It's not going to make you a nicer person. It's
very, pick out your best points. And if you're not happy with yourself, all right, well, what do you want to achieve? Set your goals and slay them and then set more.
Relentlessly.
Yeah, relentlessly.
With your goals that you smashed out and you said from 2015 and you saw in 2016 you did you write those down, and was it, well, obviously you wrote them down, but did you ever put them on a wall
I
or anything?
Facebooked it. I put it on my wall.
Okay.
So it came up as a memory, and I literally saw it 4 days ago.
That is, I'm going to take that as a challenge.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that out there to all of our earth movers.
Yeah.
Try that.
Set your goals.
Set your goals.
Publicly.
Put it publicly. And there's something about it. I know some people are more like, if you have goals or you have ideas, keep them to yourself. I think if you're going to pursue something and that's what you're about, put it out there.
Yeah.
Makes you accountable.
Makes you accountable.
Yeah,
because
accountable. Definitely.
I remember we did an exercise in the locker room where we told each other what we wanted to do as individual goals. And one of my goals was to have the best hockey development camp in the nation. At the time I was in the US, but
and they can be small or big. We used to do that before a game. What is one thing that you want to do in this game? Whether it's, make low tackles or stick to my blocks or, get an intercept.
Yep.
Those little things, but then you can make them big. But as you were saying, you're making yourself accountable for them.
Yeah.
You're actually saying it to the world. So instead of pre-contemplating it, you're actually saying it.
And I think it's a filter. It acts as a filter when you say it out loud, because if you're not confident about it, or if you really don't want that and you're only saying it to say it, you're not going to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're only going to say something that's okay, I really want this, so I'm going to say it out loud. I'm not going to say it because it's popular or because other people are going to accept it. If you're going to say it out loud,
you've thought about it.
Yeah.
You reached inside to pull it out and really think about it. That's what it is. Going into 2017, what are we saying to ourselves, and what are we putting out there in the public's eye? What are we pursuing? What are our goals? And what are we saying that we're going to accomplish this year? I think it's important for us to take that time to really sit down. Yep, new year, whatever it is, like whatever changes we need to make, we're being persistent. We're making those changes. You know, like the quote I like is, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah.
So make sure we're making those changes. And then what are our goals? Putting them out there for people to see and then pursuing them. And then we come back at the end of the year, have Tilly on the podcast and talk about everything that we accomplished.
Make sure I've nailed everything.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it'll just make you work even harder.
Accountable now. I was thinking back to quotes, and one of my favorite ones is, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah.
Do you know who quoted that? Do you know who quote that is? Actually, I thought I knew.
Do you?
I was about to say,
It's the president. It's either JFK or Abraham Lincoln. Which one?
Yeah.
JFK? Yes.
I think it
JFK.
was.
That's why I asked you if you knew. That's why I was like, I know this
Surely,
one.
yeah.
Surely, you know.
well, the thing about it is just JFK. He's put out so many great quotes. Like, how do you know which one?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man, that's good. Well, I guess before we wrap up, going a bit deeper, Tilly, I guess, what are the things that I guess you're really looking forward to in the next year? And like you said, thinking about doing the life coaching, is that something you're going to pursue full time, or what are you thinking? What is 2017 looking like for Tilly Quist?
So first things first is get back to work on the 1st of the 1st in January, which I can't wait.
Wait, you start on the first.
The first midnight, as soon as it's like 1 minute past.
Oh, because that's when all the
0-100
fires are going to
hours.
happen.
I'm on. Back on the truck.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can't wait. Then the 13th of February will be the Gridiron Camp. So smashing that out, making a good example, always sticking with my program and diet and things like that throughout the whole way. And then as of the 21st, I'll be starting my new job. So really sticking to the 13 weeks training that I've got there. And then pretty much straight after I finish my training, I'll probably have to go overseas. So 3 weeks of unpaid leave. Hopefully I will get approved for that.
Sure, if you just say, I'm representing Australia.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good with stuff like that if it is to represent the country. So once that's out of the way, then, yeah, I just want to really focus on my career and really look after myself and probably even have a little bit of a break. So I haven't decided yet, but we'll be pursuing some training in life coaching.
So good.
Whether I want to do it now before I start my training or after, I haven't quite decided for timing wise. But I'm looking forward to that and doing that in my days off and maybe having my own business. I've got a lot to learn because I know nothing about owning a business. I know a lot about management and I know a lot about leadership skills and I know a lot about life. But managing a business is
good branding.
Yeah. So
we know some people.
I do still have some things to learn.
The coffee, please.
Oh, the
Glee.
Glee
I need some
coffee.
Glee in my life.
Some Glee.
We need
Thanks,
a jingle
Tilly.
for Glee.
You're right.
Yeah, we
That
didn't even,
definitely wasn't
Tilly.
it, but
Do you want some more water?
No, I'm good. I'm good with
Okay.
the Glee.
because Tilly water is so much stronger, guys.
Yeah.
protein infused.
Protein infused.
It's now Alpha Labs water.
That's right. Big shout out to Alpha Labs. Talking about leave and playing for your country, how is the GoFundMe going? I know we plugged that early days back in August. Is that still going on?
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down, but that's probably to be expected with the large wait between now and the camp. So we're going to pump that up again shortly before I go to camp. What's exciting is after they actually announced, the team, Gridiron Australia, have very kindly made some packs for us, like some sponsorship packages.
Yeah.
So they'll have like little contracts with, a certain amount that I could be sponsored for and what they get back, whether it's a cool little helmet decal or a signed jersey. It could be, various different things, but that will really help is actually having those sponsorship packages that I'll actually be able to take to businesses and say, hey, would you mind sponsoring me? So
That's awesome. What's the handle for the GoFundMe?
what was that?
What's the handle for the GoFundMe? GoFundMe /
I think it's just GoFundMe / Matilda Quist.
Yep.
Or Matilda, yeah.
Yeah, definitely GoFundMe.
I think it's just Matilda Quist / Matilda Quist.
Perfect. So all you Earth Movers out there, support the brand, support the team. Make sure you guys go over to the GoFundMe and help our friend. Actually, she's definitely an Earth Mover. She definitely supports the brand. So definitely go over there at GoFundMe.com / Matilda Quist and go support. We want to see one of our own representing our country. That's just awesome. Talking about football a bit more before we head out. I think I saw you posted that the Hunter Gridiron League was looking for some players?
So they're going to be having a combine on February 19.
A combine. She even uses the language.
It's like an Under Armour combine.
And so it's mainly, I think, going to be for juniors and the men's league. But what I would like to do is get some women together, and I think there was talk of it. It hasn't been set in stone that we might play like a curtain raiser game. So if we can get some women down, because having a team locally and playing locally would be amazing. That would be such a dream come true, to actually not have to travel to Sydney all the time. And also it'll help our team and our girls develop skills throughout the season. So the men's Hunter Gridiron League this year, most of those guys went and played for the Cobras, and the Cobras went really well. They didn't score great like on the chart or anything, but their games were so much better. And like they were winning on this one game that I watched, and then they ended up losing by 2 points. And like that happened a couple of times. Like they were just so close, and they just improved so much. And that was due to all that extra training and all that extra game time from the Hunter Gridiron League. So if we could have women come down and just try out the sport. So the women that aren't quite sure if it's what they want to do, or they don't want to travel to Sydney, because that's been a lot of the feedback of why we can't get players, is because they don't want to travel to Sydney. So if we can get a Hunter League going in Newcastle, like that would just be amazing. Then there's no excuse. Everyone can come down and give it a go and fall in love with it, just like I did.
Definitely. So you're just seeking some expressions of interest at the moment?
Yeah.
And women who want to get involved, or even just have a chat about it, just get in touch with you on your Facebook page?
Yeah, just on the Facebook page. Yeah. So there's the Newcastle Cobras Facebook page, there's the Hunter Gridiron League Facebook page, there's Matilda Quist Facebook page. Anyone to do with gridiron, you'll get in contact with someone and we can give you some more information.
So Ellie, what are you doing in 2017?
She has
I'm learning how to play roller derby.
She's derbing it up. Still working on that nickname.
Sorry. Still have no idea about the nickname. But I do want to give gridiron a go.
Yeah, you do.
Just for the giggles of the equipment. When we're at Sports Fest, I tried on some gear. I
saw that,
Oh, gosh.
It's hard to get on and off, isn't it?
It's ridiculously hard. I had to get some guy to dress me. Yeah. And he's like explaining things to me, and it was amazing and difficult. As soon as you put it on, I was like sweating bullets. I was like, oh God.
Imagine doing that in like 12 o'clock in the middle of summer for 2 hours.
You were cut fat real quick.
I recently went to my old high school, West Wallsend High, and was a special guest at the Sports Awards night.
Oh, nice.
And I got one of the guys up on stage and put him in all the gear. It was so funny. It was excellent to watch. So, yeah.
I wouldn't mind putting back on the pads. It would be fun.
I was about to say, you did put them on for
Let's do it.
I should have brought mine.
I will hit Lee up and ask him if we can come along for a sesh just for the gear.
We'd definitely have you,
Yeah, go for a training just to see if I can get
if we can
come down on the 19th.
I'm thinking of a new segment with Ellie just trying on new sports. I feel like
it'll be like that search for hurt.
Search for her, yeah.
I like that.
We had a lady.
Search for hurt.
Ellie for hurt. We had a lady come down to one of the LFL training sessions, and she ended up leaving with a black eye.
Oh, nice.
Wow. That's all right. I don't mind.
Real quick, I have to back up. For everyone who's listening, for all you earth movers out there, for everyone in the Hunter, like, let's go, really. Let's rally around our sports. Let's get teams together. Let's get leagues together so we can stop traveling to Sydney. Do you want to be branded as Sydney's little brother or little sister? Like, come on. Enough is enough. We need to get this going. With lacrosse, it's the same thing. That's why we're starting what we're starting here, because we're going to Sydney. Then they don't want to let us know that they decide to cancel. It's 3 hours on a train right there. We get there.
Oh,
yeah, savages. I
that's
know.
Brutal.
Savages. Like, and like, we want competitive lacrosse. We want competitive sports. We want competitive gridiron. We want to see our numbers grow. There's people who are putting their heart and all into seeing these grassroots sports grow, and we want to play. So how about we just rally together? We attend games. We attended a game where we saw, I don't think Lee was actually playing that game, but we did go to the game and support, and we actually were pretty impressed at the numbers they had and the support they had. And look, that can be for every one of our grassroots sports here in the Hunter, here in Newcastle. So really, guys, let's this is a serious call to action. Really, it's fun. Like, let's get out there and watch the games. It's something to do on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, whatever it is. It's something to do. Get out the house, enjoy it with your family, enjoy it with friends, and go support our Hunter leagues, our Hunter grassroots sports.
It also goes back to what you were saying before about actually going out and doing it yourself. So if you want to do it, don't just wait for someone else. Like, get on the phone, get on the internet, look it up, go and do it yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't wait for your friend to tell you to go. Just go and do it.
Yeah.
OG standards, right?
OG
standards.
So before we head out, Tilly, how can people reach out to you? What are your social media handles? I know I follow you and the team follows you and your Harley riding, but how can people find you?
So on Instagram, it's just at Matilda Quist 33. And my Facebook page, if you just search Matilda Quist page, is my sports page. And I've also got my personal one, which is, I have no idea, Matilda Quist something.
Yeah, don't use any more, do you?
Just Google me and find me on Facebook and just send me a message.
Have you ever done that yourself?
I have recently. The sports teacher said that he Googled me to get in contact with me, and apparently I have a home phone number listed, but I don't have a home phone. So I was like, yeah. And he goes, I messaged you on Facebook and you replied within like an hour. So I'm like, yeah, Facebook's the go.
Are you on Wiki?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Someone make that happen.
We gotta make that happen.
Matilda Quist, OG.
The real OG. That's awesome. Well, what a phenomenal show, guys. A lot of gold nuggets in there. A lot of good tips on leadership. And actually, before we head out, I'm pulling a Dave Ferrari, guys. Before we head out. Before we head out. Tilly, to that young girl out there who wants to be a leader, who wants to be, the next Tilly Quist, what would you say to her? What's those words of inspiration? I can think of one specifically that plays lacrosse with us, who I can just see being a definite leader. But what's your word to the next young girl coming up in sports?
I think the main thing is setting your goals and working out your proper training for it. If you're not going to put in the work, then you're not going to get the results that you need. So you have to actually have a plan. Instead of just having a dream that you want to do this, what are you actually doing about it? So writing down a plan from your diet to your training to how many sessions you're doing a week and how you can actually take it to the next level. You got to be in it to win it. So just set yourself up a plan and go for it.
Absolutely. A practitioner. Awesome. Well, that's our show today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, all you Earth Movers. Couple call to actions for you guys. You guys are amazing on the social. Make sure you guys keep leaving comments on YouTube, on our Facebook page as well. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you click the red button below. Subscribe on iTunes. Make sure you download and please leave us a review. That just helps us get some of these gold nuggets that you've just heard for yourself out to other people. And again, it's not for our own gain, but just to help people like you get some of this knowledge to go out and pursue the things that you want to pursue with excellence. On top of that, you can find us on Twitter at grassroots_AU, Instagram at grassroots_sports, and Facebook /grassroots sports. Till next time, guys, you're hanging out with us in Thought Fox Studio 1, also known as the Fox Den.